Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud.
And Hardcore Dave.
And this is Final Reckoning, Episode 2, Episode 3, Episode 4. Or just an all-encompassing reflection of the season so far? I mean, would you say that's correct?
Yeah, this is going to be a recap of the season as a whole. We're 4 episodes in.
And you might ask why? Simply because, almost out of protest from my point of view, you know? I'm supposed to record every week just because I put it on the thumbnail pic of the podcast? I got to do it weekly? Fuck that. No, I was kidding. No.
Just because they have an episode released every week doesn't mean we're getting a full episode of content.
Oh my god, that's really
We're
good.
really not. We're getting a lot of drama and relationships and not a whole lot of challenge.
Yes. And then, what was it? Episode 1, we had sort of a mission, but it was mostly an introductory mission. But then episode 2, we had a mission where like they swing and grab rings, you know. But then it wasn't until episode 3 that we have an elimination round, and then we get the voting process, and that's interesting to talk about and stuff like that. But then we have episode 4 in which it's a lot of interpersonal. Well, every single episode is interpersonal before anything physical, right?
Yep.
It's all about interaction.
The first hour of every episode is solely around drama in the house and different castmates not liking other castmates and liking other castmates too much. I mean, maybe they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And it's kind of around that, but the mission, the eliminations, stuff like that is just kind of interspersed throughout that, and it's not a very nice, tight, and clean flow to things that, like in Champs versus Stars, where you would see a mission and an elimination and it would take place in the entire episode. Now we're just getting a whole lot more drama instead of actual competitions.
It should be called MTV the Soap Opera, because there's very little challenge in all this shit. But again, you summed it up perfectly. We're not getting a full episode. So now that there's been 4 episodes and we're 3 episodes behind, we meaning I mean, I've been doing this by myself.
Yes, we'll place the blame solely on you.
No, now I feel like I can reflect on a full episode, because that was basically episode 1, 2, and 3 was, to me, like, 2 days? Maybe 3 days? Mm-hmm. But then, because at the end of episode 3, we get our elimination. They come back the next night. That's what Cam says, remember?
Yeah.
She's like, I sent you home, and you're right back. Yeah, I sent you home yesterday. So these episodes are drawn out, are strung out, where you're like, you see an episode every 3 episodes. So this is fair that we're so late, but we're covering it now. It's proper, right?
Yes. Well, you know what? We're just taking MTV's lead on this. If they're going to release an episode every 3 weeks, we're going to release a podcast every 3 weeks.
You've been missed so much. You're coming up with shit that I didn't... That's the point of a fucking podcast. I've been ranting every solo podcast. I'm saying, like, I don't like doing this by myself because it's just me and my own thoughts. But you give me shit where I'm like, yeah, that's right. That's like shit that I didn't see, or maybe I overlooked or underlooked or something like that. You know what I mean?
I was going to tell you something about yourself.
No, I don't need that. We don't need...
When a person of a 75 IQ is able to point out things that you weren't able to notice. If that helps you reflect on yourself, Vincent.
Oh my god. I could see that as some sort of dry drama on HBO, Battle of the Vincents. You know what I mean? Where, like, my psychiatrist is like, Vince, you have to deal with like all the bullshit that you've done in your life. I'm like, no.
Some sort of punishment you have to deal with.
Yes. But hopefully we have a mic in there. So let's get on to the fucking point. Holy shit.
All right, let's just go through the teams.
Yeah.
And kind of talk about what they've been up to the last couple episodes.
Exactly. Here we go. Let's start with Jose and Devon. In episode 1, all they did was watch This was the introduction of people in the Redemption House getting to see shit that happened in the real house, the big house, the full house, Fuller House, Bob Saget.
Well, and I guess you talked about in your first podcast how they ended up there. It was Zach and Brad they were the partners who dug each other up first. The two last place teams, Chuck and Brittany and Jenna and Jemmy, they went to the Redemption House automatically. Jose and Devon got sent in by Brad and Zach, who won. So even though they didn't lose anything, they ended up there. Yeah, and then
that's all they get to watch, though. They get to watch the dailies of the challenge. So real quick, how do you feel about Redemption people getting to see? Okay, this is how it was billed by Jose or Jemmy. She was like, I get to see the secrets of the challenge. That gives us power, y'all. But then you watch it, and it's no secret. It was a very public fight. You know?
Yeah. I mean, they're just keeping themselves up to date, even though they're in the Redemption House. They can see who's hating on each other.
Yeah.
But they're not seeing anything that the people in the main house weren't. They were all witnesses to all that stuff too. So it's just keeping them up to date. They're not learning any kind of secrets.
I felt like it was like, hey, let's make reaction videos. Those get a lot of hits. They really do get a lot of hits. We should do those.
Maybe we should. We should just record ourselves watching the challenge.
And just talk over very crucial pieces of information.
I know, right? That's like the most frustrating part.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, anyways, Jose and Devon, they watch the dailies. Whatever. Then they don't do anything for episode 2. But in episode 3, what happens?
Well, basically,
huge shit.
Natalie and Paulie, they get sent to the Redemption House. And then they meet up with Jose, who's also from Big Brother, who's I think Devon is from Big Brother as well.
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So they're both from Big Brother. So Natalie is Paulie from Big Brother. I don't even know where he's from, but Natalie's from Big Brother for sure. So they kind of have this common bond, this alliance. Jose starts talking mad shit to Natalie and Paulie, like Chuck and Brittany is just like they've just been going at it the last couple days because they've been fighting nonstop, and it's like. Jemmy's talking about how there's so much sexual tension between the two of them. And Natalie's like, well, I love Brittany. Like Jose's trying to talk shit on Brittany while Chuck is like sleeping in the other bed, like right across from him. And Natalie's just like, but I like Brittany. Don't talk bad about them.
And Jose got like real quiet. Didn't he say like, shh?
Yeah. He's like, don't wake up Chuck. I'm talking shit. And how, like, what else do we see of Jose and Devon? They end up going into the elimination at the end of episode 4.
The redemption.
The redemption trying to get back into the house.
What would you call it? The redemption
fight? TJ called it like the 4 horsemen of the Armageddon apocalypse something. Yeah. I don't know. It was ridiculous. Shit. I don't know what the hell they were calling it.
That's right. He did say that. And that was pretty bad. I mean, in theory, on paper, I'm just a huge fan of the idea of like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
I'm just a big Ric Flair fan, so I love the 4 horsemen.
That's right.
From back in the WCW days.
Name the 4 if you are.
Oh, there's Arn Anderson, Ric Flair, and 2 other guys.
Just make up names because I'm sure no one knows what the fuck we're talking about.
Bela Lugosi
I was just going to ask you to test me and say, like, name the 4 things of, I'd be like death, pestilence, war, and hunger? No.
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah, and disease.
No. Well, that's 5. Which war, death, pestilence, and pestilence and disease, I thought was the same thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What was it? War, death, taxes. Taxes. All right. Anyways, Jose and Devon.
So
let's talk about the elimination idea, where everyone in Redemption who's been kicked out of the house or whatever, they have to draw cards again or draw what would you call it?
The double cross. Is it double cross?
Yeah, double cross. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you get the double X's, it's just like Dirty 30, right?
Yeah.
Or did they do it at Vendettas too? Or no, that was just
Dirty 30, yeah.
If you pull it out, it's a good thing, and it means that
you get to fight in elimination.
Yeah, you get the chance to actually fight, and you also get to pick the team that you're going to go against.
Anyone else who isn't picked is fucking for real out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and it was Paulie and Natalie pull the double cross, and they choose Jose and Devon to go against because they're both big brother friends.
I didn't realize that. Oh yeah.
That's basically, and also because Paulie and Natalie seem to have this trend of trying to pick the weakest team to go against because they know that they're a weak team. Because before they picked Cam and Kaylee, because it was a team of two girls, they didn't want to go against Brad and Kyle or Zach. You know, some of the other strong competitors. They're constantly like trying to pick the weak team to go against, just like they are picking Jose and Devon. But we see how that ends up working out for them.
I would have picked them as well, though. Right? Like if you're gonna go against a weak team, I would have done it. Like say I'm, what's his name, and I'm with Natalie, and I'm like, God damn it, Natalie, you're hot, but I don't trust you in eliminations, and you are bad in eliminations. You have a bad record. So let's go against two weak teams.
Yeah.
And I would have chosen Jose and Devon. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. I mean, it is the smart move to do because they are a weak team.
Yeah.
But there's no honor in picking the weak team. Like, come on.
You won?
No, I would. I totally would. But I'm just saying, for me as an observer, like, I'm not going to not point it out and be like, hey, you're trying to pick the weak team.
All right.
And then we see Natalie versus Paulie versus Jose and Devon. And Jose and Devon end up...
Let's talk about what they do.
They had to pull the sledgehammer through the... it's kind of made of like porcelain or something that eventually... It's like drywall.
Yeah.
Very thick version of it where it eventually break down. You can pull the sledgehammer through. Then you use your sledgehammers to break through the glass or the ice window. It didn't seem like
drywall. It seemed like wood.
Yeah, it was like a weird... Yeah.
I think it was... I don't think it was drywall.
It's almost like that particle board, you know?
Yeah, it could have been that. Yeah.
Where it's kind of like that... It's little wood chips that are basically glued together that are used for walls in a house or for a floor or a ceiling.
Yeah. And Jose and Devon, they both get it. At first, I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but, you know, they win because Natalie couldn't do it at all. She couldn't finish it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, I guess we shouldn't be too shocked. Like, Natalie is recently out of the closet. She's not used to handling long rods.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Oh.
It's out of her wheelhouse. She can't handle that. That's why she's, she's into the ladies. She can use that equipment. She's not... Right? That makes sense.
Wait. Are you saying that she's never tried to... quote unquote pull a sledgehammer out of the wall, or she has tried to pull a sledgehammer out of a wall, quote unquote, but has been really bad at it, and the guys are like, lady.
Exactly. Lots of negative feedback.
They're like
poor technique.
They're like tapping on her on the head, like, ma'am, you're not doing anything for me.
We're done here.
Oh my God. All right, exactly. Well, anyways, Jose and Devon, they win. I mean, they muscled through that shit. So good for them. Yeah. They get back into the game, into the
back
house.
into the main house. Which I'm happy for them because they were never technically eliminated to begin with. They were just the team that was voted to get sent away.
Yes, that's right. I forgot about by Zach and Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, off of them. On to the next team. Jemmy and Jenna. Episode 1. Jemmy foresees Brittany and Chuck hooking up because of all the, is it obvious sexual tension to you? Like, can you pick up on that shit with other people but not yourself? Are you one of them dudes? Like, tell us.
like me watching Chuck and Brittany? Can I pick it up as well as Jemmy does? I mean, sure. I guess you can kind of see it between them.
Yeah.
I see more... I don't know. We'll get to that when we talk about them. But
is Jemmy a we talked about how like she tends to predict shit.
Yeah.
Or
she's
is this just the most obvious sexual tension of all time, and she just happens to say it first, y'all?
I mean, it's very obvious. I mean, you can just see them yelling and bickering at each other. But Brittany like giving weird smiles, like she's slightly into Chuck at the same time. Chuck not really arguing that much back.
There's no read on Chuck. I don't think Chuck cares either way. It's all about
Yeah.
Brittany's attraction to him, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, besides Jemmy and Jenna,
but Jemmy and Jenna are legit. They're my favorite girl team. I think I love both of them.
Dave.
We're here to talk about them.
We're here to talk about what happens in episode 3. What happens
for those two?
Yeah.
Jenna gets her tan on, hanging out. And she's missing Zach. She's missing her man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about it for Jenna.
Okay. And
Jemmy just basically is giving commentary on the Chuck and Brittany debacle.
Yeah. Yeah. But then again, it's obvious commentary. Like, anyone could pick that up,
Yeah, but Jemmy is a lot better with the words than anybody else in the house would be.
Yeah, she's more she's more of a confessional professional.
Yeah,
right?
confessional artist.
Oh my god! I was like, takedown artist, jujitsu artist, that sort of thing. She's a fucking confessional artist.
She's a confessional black belt.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Well, black belt.
Brown belt.
What's lower than black?
Brown.
You son of a bitch. You had to go political. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Let's okay, but what happens in episode 3 with Jemmy and Jenna? They are not chosen to go into elimination. Right?
You're talking about episode 4 or episode 3?
4.
4? Oh, okay.
We're jumping.
That's what I was very
all I have written down for Jemmy and Jenna is Jemmy foresees Brittany and Chuck hook up. That's all I have.
Oh.
What happens in episode 4?
Oh, in episode 4, they're just
Part 3 of this podcast.
They're just, we just see them tanning outside, and Jenna's talking about how she wants to buy the house that they're in, and then
what?
Jemmy,
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, when they're tanning, Jenna's like, I really want to buy this house that we're in, and I'll just come and live here. And then Jemmy's like, well, it probably costs more than $500,000, and if we win, you only get $500,000. And then Jenna's like, well, you might have to front me the other half of the money then. Maybe I'll just get all the $1 million, then I can buy this place for myself. But eventually, Jenna and Jemmy, they don't get picked by Natalie and Paulie, so they just get sent immediately home.
Yeah. But in a spectacular fashion.
Yeah,
I'll say sensational. Because it made you feel something, whether it was good or bad.
Oh, yeah. You want to talk about that?
Not yet.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. We'll wait until Natalie and Paulie.
Next team, Brittany and Chuck. The people that everyone's fucking talking about. And I remember during episode 2 or 3, you were just like, fucking, I'm going to throw up if I have to watch these two again. Yeah.
Just watching them argue is just the biggest amount of annoying bullshit ever.
Argue in quotes, though. I remember when Chuck sat her down at a table, and there was cameras there and shit. But I'm like, well, cameras are always gonna find that area, because Brittany's like, well, fuck you for trying to. I deserve that apology, but not in front of fucking cameras. So fuck you. But then she was putting on a performance in front of those very cameras, So I'm like, I don't feel anything bad for you, Brittany. Because you are clearly a camera whore. You're very Tory-esque right now in my eyes.
Tory?
Yes.
Is Tory? What?
We'll get into that.
Right. Well, I completely agree with you what you're saying about Brittany. Like, she's putting on a performance. Because it seemed like they're in the redemption house. Jemmy and Jenna don't really have a beef with each other. They kind of, they voted each other in, whatever, blah, blah, blah. They're not really enemies. Jose and Devon, something might have happened at Big Brother, but I was not witness to it, and they seem to get along fine. But then Brittany and Chuck, they're the one team in that redemption house that kind of have a beef together, and they kind of just take it upon themselves to be like, hey, yeah, we have an ex relationship, we're going to start a bunch of drama and get into fights with each other. And it seemed like Brittany just, out of nowhere, just started freaking out at him, yelling, being belligerent, and just putting on a performance of anger towards Chuck. And first Chuck is just like giving no response, no personality, just like, what the fuck is she doing? Then he starts to participate in it a little bit, but really doesn't seem to give a shit. And they're focusing all this stuff on Brittany has Brad, but she used to have Chuck, and now she's sexually frustrated with Chuck, and blah, blah, blah. There's all this tension going on. And I'm just like, y'all are just doing something for the cameras because the cameras are there. Otherwise, just be sitting around being fine with each other. Like, I don't really take any of this shit as face value. It doesn't seem real to me.
First of all, I agree with everything you just said. But second of all, if you were in her shoes or in his shoes, where you get yourself on the challenge, Dave. They're like, you know what? We heard this Battle of the Challenges podcast. We decided to cast Dave. And I'm like, what? Yeah. Come on! You sons of bitches! Like, oh my God. They're like, his name is Famous Dave. It clearly has a following, right? Are you gonna look on Twitter? No, don't bother. Let's just fucking hire him.
Hey, I got 38 followers. Who cares if 35 are bots?
Anyways,
3 of them are real people.
Let me ask you this: do you step up and put on a bit of the performance for the cameras?
Well, yes, because I want to make it back the next season.
There you go. So that's what they're doing, right? So you can't
just encompass Paulie this entire episode. His first fucking season, Paulie shows up and he's like, wait, everyone's here because they got into a fight with someone the season before? Okay, let me get into a fight with fucking 3 different people and piss a bunch of people off. Zach, Brad, Kyle, I'm gonna fucking talk shit about all 3 of you so that way you can bring me back next year. Like, that's what Paulie does. That's what Brittany's doing. That's what so many of these people are doing, right. Is just starting artificial fights with people so that way they have something to talk about and a reason to bring them back in a following season.
It kind of bleeds over into my other love, which I really should be podcasting more about, or at all. UFC. You know, I should, in the UFC, people have to say shit. They don't have to, but it doesn't hurt to say shit. You know, it doesn't hurt
trash
at all.
About people.
Talk trash. Call people out. You know.
Yeah.
It gets your fans riled up.
It gets to talk about.
It gets the person you called out fans riled up. You know. It does something. So we're living in
interest in it.
Everyone's constantly cutting promos on this show. Constantly.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know what? And I'm not even faulting the people on the show for doing this. I'm faulting the producers for constantly highlighting this stuff and not highlighting eliminations and challenges and all those missions.
That's true. Yeah.
They're just focusing on all these people and their love triangles or their arguments with each other.
We're not talking about the performances necessarily right yet because, I mean, whatever. But this show is all promos, cutting promos. You're a fan of WWE. Are you trying to say you don't like wrestling anymore? Is that what you're saying?
I really don't like the wrestling product anymore. It's all scripted bullshit. Just like the challenge.
Oh my God. Okay. Next team. Zach. And again, Brittany and Chuck, they weren't chosen to go into elimination by Paulie and Natalie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're gone. They're gone. Did Brad and what's her name get to make out before elimination even happened, or was that afterwards? Because I know they were kissing this episode or episode 4.
It was before Paulie made the reveal at the end. I know that. They were kissing each other.
Yeah, because otherwise Brad would have been shoved her away. Like, what?
I think it was right after Paulie and Natalie chose Jose and Devon, I believe.
Instead, so
then Brittany and Brad are saying their goodbyes and kissing a little bit.
Oh shit! All right, crazy. Well, that's the end of that. They're leaving.
Yep.
Yeah. Anything else to say? Big fan of Brittany.
It sucks.
Or did stock go down?
I'm a big fan of Brittany. Everything she's done in the previous season, I thought it was great.
It carries over, so it doesn't matter what she's done this season.
This year, I feel like she got dealt a weird hand, and she needed to give
Chuck's
herself.
Hand, right?
She needed to give herself something to do because she knew she was in the redemption house, and odds are she's not going to go back, and she didn't end up going back into the main house. So she gave herself, she started artificial drama. I don't hold that against Brittany. I mean,
Chuck does. He holds things against Brittany in the night.
No, that's Brad, damn it. Chuck did none of that.
No, she didn't even get into the house this season. Brad never touched her this season.
Off the show, they did.
What? No, they never. She never got into the actual house, right?
No, I'm saying off the show, before the show.
I know that, but documentary wise, like what's on video, technically Chuck got with Brittany way more than Brad ever did on this season.
But they didn't kiss or anything, did they?
Well, lips. You know how many hookers are like, hey, no kissing? That's their weird rule. Everything else goes.
Oh yeah, you don't want to get herpes. Come on. They're businesswomen. What do you expect?
This is the... They point to their face. This is the billboard, you fucker. Like, oh shit. You
This is the no zone.
Yeah, the no zone. All eyes up here, but lips down there, wherever else. All right. Well, let's get to the next team. Zach and Amanda.
Amanda talks a little bit of shit during the elimination. It's basically all I saw from her.
In episode 1, during the mission, they lost it. They only got one ring, and Amanda gets tangled up with Veronica. I do remember that. Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. Zach, later on, he's like, you know what? I think I took Jenna back. You know, he doesn't say anything. You know, he doesn't confirm. He doesn't shout out from the rooftops like, I love Jenna. He just says, you know what? Who's he talking to? Who's he talking
Nelson?
to?
Or...
Nelson, yeah, Nelson, right? He's like, you know what, Nelson? You need a good girl. Jenna, who just loves you no matter what. No matter how fucked up you are, no matter the mistakes you've made, no matter how terrible you've treated women over the years. Just
These are your words, not
she's
his.
willing to look the other way, motherfucker. This is great. Pancakes every morning, regardless.
But he was saying in order to have a relationship like I have with Jenna, you need to have a girl like Jenna.
Yeah.
You know, Jenna is the ultimate girl. I've always loved Jenna. I have a soft spot in my heart for Jenna.
Yeah.
Alright? It's Zach. I've always been a big fan. You're not a fan of either of them, apparently. I don't know why. Zach and Jenna are a great couple. And you know what? They don't start a bunch of bullshitty arguments with each other that often. At least not in
because
this
Jenna
year.
can't tell when she's being spoken down to. She can't tell.
She puts up with stuff.
She does. And that's why Zach's like, you're my fucking bodacious punching bag.
What?
Verbally. Like, you don't understand that I'm mentally shredding away at you every day just to keep my claws sharp.
You're referring to shit that happened like 4 years ago. Alright? When they were on like Battle of the Exes together. Alright? That's long gone and like 3 relationships ago. You know.
Yeah. Okay, going back to Zach and Amanda, though, as a pair, all I have written down for episode 2 is that when it comes down to the vote, the secret vote, which, by the way, let's get into that real quick. They're bringing back the secret cutthroat vote from Cutthroat. I like that then. I fucking like it now. It's crazy.
That's a really good idea.
It's awesome.
That's one of the few bright spots of this season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just disappointed we can't see it more often.
Yeah, very true. But it's here. I was glad, and it's gonna get better from here. But for now, Zach and Amanda, they vote for Natalie and Polly. Why necessarily?
Because Zach is in alliance with Brad and Kyle.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And their
Then
team,
that makes sense.
So they kind of.
And Amanda seems to be like, "Fuck it." Like Zach, I'm just gonna ride him to the end, right? I feel like Amanda's not gonna really try. She's gonna have fun this season, but she's gonna be like, "I'm fucking winning this bitch." Like Zach right here.
Yeah, she's already won because she has a good partner.
Yeah.
So.
And he's tied up with all the great politicians in the house, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she basically Amanda just gets to drink and party, and then when she eventually has to perform, hopefully she can not fuck it up.
In episode 3, Zach, I just remember him saying like, yeah, it gets voted off in a sensational way, but again, we're not going to talk about that, right? Not yet.
No.
All right. Next, we have Tori and Derek. They lose that ring mission or whatever, but in a very bad way. Holy shit. Like, they weren't the worst because that was Zach and Amanda. They only got 3 rings, but it's because fucking Derek, he's not very good at this thing.
No, he seemed very uncoordinated. He kind of looked like I would expect Jose to perform, just like no athletic ability.
large man, physical. He looks great, you know.
Yeah, he's got
But,
like a six-pack and packs, and you'd be like, oh, this guy's an athlete.
Yeah.
Wrong. No. There's some people who can just like lift weights and look good, but you give them a athletic task or some kind of competition, they just can't perform. And that seemed like Derek. Like
I remember Tori throwing the rope to Derek and saying, and this is what everyone else is doing, you get pulled up back onto the platform, then you jump off and get a giant swing. Instead, he would kick off of the platform without even getting on it. Kick off. And Tori's like, what the fuck? And she was like, what the fuck? He's fucking useless. Fuck this shit. Like, yeah, Derek is bad, but Tori wasn't looking very good in my eyes. She was well, because it's like, hey, yeah, he's doing bad, but it's like you're saying all this horrible shit about him. And not only that, he's your goddamn ex. Exactly. It's so fucking cold to me. I don't know. It's just, I don't see anything positive coming from her. It's a reaction, but it's nothing positive.
I mean, it seemed like a real reaction that she was super pissed.
Yes.
It's probably not the smart thing to do. She needs to try and coddle him and keep his confidence up because she was tearing into him. So that's not going to help Derek's confidence. It's probably going to make him perform worse in the future.
Yeah, because afterwards they're still going to be arguing about it and shit. I think they vote for... Who the fuck do they vote for? I don't even know. No, it's not confirmed. I do remember this. I wrote, next, as a quote. Because Tori and Derek, they were going through people, and they're like, oh yeah, that person, or this person. And then Tori's like, next. So it's never really revealed who they vote for. Right?
Oh, yeah. I think it's on Wikipedia. I don't remember who
in episode 3 of episode 4, I mean, what happens with Tori and Derek? I don't think anything happens.
Nothing really happens. Like, Derek ends up holding back Polly when there's like a little bit of a scuffle at the end, but that was it.
Yeah. That's good guy points, right? Like, the guy who separates a fight, is that a good guy move? Or is it just someone looking for attention? What do you think?
No, I mean, it was just him... I don't know. It's probably just a natural reaction.
Have you ever been that guy who literally had to like separate a fight? You know.
They're not like physically holding someone back, but I've been the person to interject, trying to talk to the other person. Where I'm like,
meanwhile,
just let it go.
He's like, all right.
I'm like, let it go. He's drunk. He doesn't know what he's saying. He's not trying to be an asshole. He just doesn't know what's going on right now. Kind of that kind of mediator.
And then you realize that you are the drunk asshole. They're like, Dave, we're fighting you. We're like, oh, well, you're so drunk and we hit you so many times. You have no idea what the fuck is happening.
Oh, shit. I thought it was a tequila. Apparently those were body shots. Oh.
And headshots.
It's just my gut hurts and my ribs hurt. I thought it was alcohol.
All right, next team, Joss and Sylvia. I really have nothing to say. They don't do anything except... they get 4 rings. They do better than the previous 2 teams. But then they vote for Polly and Natalie. That's significant, right?
Yeah.
Other than that, nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing. They don't really play any part in these episodes other than Polly ends up saying after they picked Cam and Kaylee to go against the elimination, he was saying that he wanted to go against Joss and Sylvia.
Oh.
Because he doesn't like Joss for some reason. I don't even remember why he doesn't like Joss, other than he thinks he's like a douchebag or something like that. But I don't know. I did not really believe that line from Paulie that he wanted to go against Joss, because I don't think anybody wants to go against Joss. I would rather go against Zach and Amanda.
Derek. Only Derek. And not Derek H. Derek K.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, I'll take him again. I don't care.
No, that was a war. That was like an hour-and-a-half war.
Yeah. Would the sequel ever live up to that?
No, of course not. But wouldn't you rather go against Zach and Amanda than go against Joss and Sylvia? Because I feel like Sylvia's better than Amanda, and I feel like Joss and Zach are probably about even.
Good point.
Maybe Joss might have a little bit more in the endurance department.
That's a very good point. Good point.
I don't think anybody wants to go against Joss and Sylvia. They're a
Next,
stacked team.
we have CT and Veronica. All I have is that they get 5 rings during the mission. I remember CT saying, listen, we got 5 wins between us, 7 if you count Champs versus Stars. And I like that. I was like, oh my God.
I liked it because he was just adding on more of his own wins. So it's kind of a cocky thing, but a true thing. That's great.
And I want it to be like a call to acknowledge those miniseries. I don't think they should be miniseries. I think they should count as canon. Like, I feel like he earned those wins, especially that last win.
I feel like it's more difficult in the actual missions and eliminations. It's more difficult.
Yeah.
Politically wise, there's not as many episodes, so you don't have to make it through as many vote processes. But those finals are legit. Like, those eliminations are legit on that show.
Yeah. So I don't know.
It takes a lot to get through those.
CT gave a shout out in a way. I do remember Veronica saying, like, I had a nightmare of pressure to perform if I was given CT, and guess what? I'm given CT. But that's about it. They really don't have too much time together.
Then CT was talking a lot of shit about Veronica, like, I have Veronica as a partner. Oh, she sucks so bad.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah.
So I know you're a big Veronica fan, so you must have been hating on CT when he was calling his partner trash.
Not hating necessarily, because what have we seen different than that? You know, like, of course I want to support Veronica, but in terms of the mission, she hasn't been the best. Yeah, I want to lift and separate Veronica.
No. Lift and accentuate.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Lift and motorboat. No. Okay. No, because it's like, okay, well, everything he says, they could cut to video of it, where he's like, all she does, she's on vacation, and I'm like, look at her, she is on vacation, she's living it up. She always has a drink in her hand, and whenever CT's like, hey, guess what? Because during the voting, they don't say who they vote for, but he's like, I want to vote for Cara Maria and Marie. No, he's like, I want Marie to hit you, Veronica, so I could be with Cara Maria. That's what he said. Yeah.
I don't remember that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
And of course, he said it in a lot more charming way, funnier way. And Veronica was like, stop. You know what I mean? Because I really feel like it's not really getting to Veronica, really. That, like, CT's like, listen, God damn it, you are my worst partner I've had so far. Right?
I think this is CT's way of trying to motivate her.
Veronica has the accolades. She's probably the most decorated partner he's ever had. She is.
Yeah, more than 10 years ago.
But more than Wes at the time, more than Adam King at the time, more than DM at the time, more than Tony at the time. Veronica has a legendary status. But he's like, you are not there. You aren't here right now. Like, he's just trying to, like, smack some sense into her, but he can't. I guess it's 2018.
That was like 2009 Veronica. 2009 Veronica was like prime Veronica.
Yeah.
Right?
You ever watch a J-Lo music video? That was Veronica right there, man. All right, next.
I liked it. I liked it
when
CT was talking. I think it was to Bananas about working out, staying in shape. It's like, yeah, I think you're gonna work out later. And Bananas like, you gonna get your partner to work out? They just start laughing. That was funny.
Okay, next team, Cara Maria and Marie. Kind of a bit to say here. They get 6 in the mission, whatever that episode was. Cara Maria is still flirting with Polly, or at least laying it on way too thick.
Yeah, I think she's really trying to get Kyle's attention by flirting with Polly.
Yes. She's wearing her Wonder Woman outfit, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
Polly does an impression of, was it Batman? Like, where's the trigger? Is that the quote? What did he say?
I don't remember.
So that's what that feels like. What did he say? I don't remember, but like I remember Cara Maria just saying like, "Oh my God, I'm totally wet for you." Lasso of truth.
Jump into my bat cave.
Oh, you mean there's like stalactites and shit in there? Totally for you. Well, thanks.
Have you been tested for poison ivy?
Oh my God.
I heard you were with a guy named Abram, and then Thomas, and then Kyle. They don't seem like clean men.
In fact, that first one sounds like a pirate. Abram.
I don't remember any of the Wonder Woman, Batman stuff at all, to be honest.
No. But okay, this is the thing though. I do remember Brad showing up and saying like, "Listen, you and Kyle, how bad is it? You know, like, do you hate him?" And or no, he's like, "How do you feel about him?" My partner Kyle, and I remember Cara Maria saying like, "He is a manipulative douchebag, like heartless, like saying all this stuff, right?" But I'm like, that's exactly who he was in Vendettas. But you were hooking up with it.
So it was okay.
Yeah. Like, what
Exactly.
the... Yeah, so, oh my God, it was just
You're
awful.
100% right, dude.
Yeah, and then later on, I do remember Polly actually having a nice little scene with Cara Maria, where, because she's all, like, down in the dumps and stuff. And he's like, you, what is it? Kyle's renting space in your mind.
Yeah.
Something like that, right? Like, he's not even paying right now. He's late or something. I don't know. His cat pissed on the floors, carpets. What did he say? I don't remember.
He didn't even pay a security deposit.
Yeah.
You need to take him to small claims court.
Yeah.
Get your money back.
You know the trade difference on what do they have, euros over there? Like the U.S. dollar is way higher. Who would have thought? All right, but yeah. But I do remember also Polly saying like, it's crazy because going in here, I thought Cara Maria was like this super strong warrior woman, and to see her acting this way, so exposed and so whatever, you know. And I'm like, that's Cara Maria, though.
Yeah.
That's been her for a long time until recently. Her past few seasons.
In like competitions, she's like Tarzan.
Yeah.
But in the political side and the mental like relationship side of the game, she's kind of
Jane?
Yeah.
Tarzan's wife?
Yeah, she's a Jane. Like gets manipulated. She gets manipulated, but not like manipulated in a vote. But just like, Kyle and you used to be a thing last year, but that's old news. Kyle moved on. Maybe you should move on too. But no, she's still hung up on him and decides to start a whole thing with Paulie just to get back at Kyle. And it's like, you know, the best way to show someone, you know, your ex-boyfriend or your ex-girlfriend that you're over them is to just move on. Don't give them anything. Just be happy in your future, because you know what? We've all been there where we have an ex and it didn't work out, and the longer you try to hold on to that, it was all for nothing and it was wasted time. It's always better off to just move on. Live your fucking life, live happy. That is the best payback.
Not for me. All my exes are together with me still. They just don't know it. Keep pictures. Tabs.
Maybe if you get really drunk and DM them on Twitter, maybe you'll get a response.
But I understand if they're too tired or, you know, too exhausted from their other quote-unquote boyfriends or husbands fucking them so much, but it's fine because, like, we'll be together in the end. It's fine. It's fine.
It's all just part of the journey.
Yeah. Anyways, holy shit.
Cara needs to grow up and just move
Yeah.
on, because she did the same stuff with Abram in the past. Like, we've seen it with Abram on the show before. Yeah. And Kyle is another version of that. Because instead of Abram and Thomas, now we have Kyle and Paulie.
Aren't her tastes just going down the toilet with every...
Well, I mean, Kyle was basically just
Abram
with
Kyle?
a British accent.
I think it's lower. I think it's way
I mean,
lower.
Abram is
just
a little
stats
smarter.
Alone. Stats alone.
That's true. As a competitor. But... Kyle is probably a little bit dumber than Abram, but Abram is probably a little bit more hot-headed and mean, where Kyle is a little mean, but I don't think any of it's like very like it's not like intentionally mean. Like, he's just kind of a dick.
I didn't mean to.
Oh, I'm a bit of a cunt, I suppose.
I was drunk.
Yeah, you know. Where Abram is a lot more like in your face, like fucking tattoos and piercings.
Yeah, but that's against other men. I don't. I feel like after Battle of the Bloodlines, have you watched it since then and like reassessed what exactly was happening?
A couple of the episodes, yeah.
It wasn't. I don't see it that way in terms of like a toxic. I believe it was a toxic relationship, but I don't believe it was abusive at all. I think there is a difference. I think
it was emotionally abusive.
I don't. Maybe from her point of view. From coming from her side, maybe.
No, I think
because she
Abram,
lied.
Because I think Abram knew he had a hold over her, and he was taking advantage of that.
Clearly not. She fucking messed around with Thomas on camera and lied to him, and then was like, "Okay, whatever," and then continues to do whatever the fuck she wants. I don't know. Wait, hey, we're not talking about that, all right? Okay, Cara Maria and Maria. What happened in episode 4? Nothing really.
Nothing. They had no part in episode 4.
No. Wait, they do vote for Angela and Faith, I believe, right? No. This was interesting. This is worth of note because when it comes down to voting, Marie is like, I don't want to vote this person. I don't want to vote that person. Can we vote ourselves in? And Cara Maria's like, are you fucking stupid? Like, you don't do it and shit like that. And I do remember Marie saying like, okay, well, whatever happens, please don't tell anyone. And it wasn't.
Marie didn't want to piss off anyone in the house.
It was sound advice. No matter what, don't tell people your vote. At least not right away. And that's exactly what Cara Maria did. She went to Natalie and she went to Tori and told everything that went down between the two of them. Marie walks into the room. Instantly, Cara Maria is a goddamn, literally giving the cold shoulder. I don't know what cold shoulder means, but what does it mean? Because she doesn't turn and face her at all.
A warm shoulder would probably be inviting, like snuggle up. A cold shoulder is like a
bam,
spurn,
like a pop with the shoulder. Like
no, I think just like a turn away,
That's the
turn away from them, just like I don't want to speak to you.
You turn fast enough that it provides a bit of a breeze. So you're like, oh, that's not a hot shoulder.
Exactly.
That's a cold shoulder. Yeah. I mean, in comparison. All right. Okay. Well, and then that's when Tori's like, asshole. And Marie's like, what? And yeah, do you remember that? Tori's like, you're an asshole and shit like that. So clearly Marie's like, Cara Maria, I asked you one thing as a team. The most important thing to say is like, don't tell people what we say here in the vote or whatever. And Cara Maria's like, oh, sorry, not sorry. I don't know. What did she say? What'd she fucking say?
But then, whatever.
And then Tori's like, Cara Maria, can I talk to you? And Cara's like, no. And I did not like this at all. I don't like Marie, but I really don't like Cara Maria for treating Marie like that. That's your teammate.
Cara Maria has this huge problem with Marie, and I get it. You guys are vendettas or whatever. You guys hate each other. You're rivals. But so is everyone else on this season. Everyone is matched up with someone they don't get along with. And it really seems like Cara Maria and Marie, they're the only ones where both sides of the team, like Marie is actually trying to work with Cara Maria. I get that they don't actually get along, but she still wants to work together as a team. Cara Maria is just completely, this is what, the third episode? She's already just like pushed away Marie and is just like, no, I'm not going to do what you say at all. Like, we're going to vote. I'm going to vote for whatever. I'm not even going to try to make this relationship as a team work. And it disappoints me because Cara Maria is a former champion, all right?
The most recent champion.
Yeah. And she always performs
the first
great.
Ever solo champion.
Yeah. And it seems like this year she showed up, she doesn't like her partner, and now she's just like, you know what? I'm here on a fucking vacation now. I'm not even going to try because I don't like my partner, so I'm just going to phone it in. I'm not even going to put forth an effort. It's what it seems like. She's not even going to put forth an effort.
There's shades of Laurel in there. You know what I mean? I felt like in Invasion of the Champions, Laurel, who was just a fucking challenge goddess, right? She was just like, you know what? I don't like the fact that Cara Maria is fucking flirting with Nicole. I'm just not going to try as hard right now because this season kind of sucks anyways, and like, it's all fucking bullshit. And Camilla, am I eliminated? All right, well, bye, She walks away. And I feel like maybe that's what Cara Maria is feeling, where she's like, She's experienced the highest of highs for a challenger. She's the second richest champion of all time. Mm-hmm. Let me just say that. And then she is the first, male or female, first solo challenge champion ever. And she's just like, maybe she's just feeling like, I can't relate to people on Earth anymore. I'm just so high up here. That's why she didn't give a shit about Polly's relationship. She's like, fuck me.
Yeah, give me attention.
Call it dick. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it. She's like, I'm not getting anything from Kyle this time around. I need to get Polly to get on this because I need to have a good time.
Will someone come inside this bitch? You know what I mean? Like, whoa.
So it's almost like Cara Maria won last year.
She's drunk kind of, on power? Hungover on power, maybe?
A little bit. She's almost like Conor McGregor after the Mayweather fight. Oh, she got her big payday, and now she's just going to take a little bit of time off because, you know what? She just won $1 million last year, so... You know what? She got partnered with Marie. Screw trying to make that work. That sounds like, it sounds like work.
Sounds way too hard.
Yeah. I'm just going to hang out until, like, episode 8, and then I'll get home.
Okay. Next team. Natalie and Polly. The team that we've
talked about it the entire time.
Yeah. We've been slowly chipping away at what they do. And okay. So in episode 1, they do 7 rings, better than Cara Maria and Marie, and better than the other teams that we've mentioned before. They are still sort of flirting, like we said, or at least Cara Maria is flirting with Polly. Polly's not doing shit. Do you feel like he's flirting at all? Like, take away the bullshit that happened in episode 4. Until then, did you hate Polly? Did you feel like he was just being attacked just because Cara Maria is sopping?
Yeah, I feel like he was just the... Polly, up until episode 3, was just a guy who was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah. The wet place at the wet time. Oh, wrong place at the wrong time. I'm sorry.
Because you have Cara Maria and Kyle, who are not together anymore. Kyle is off banging Faith. Cara is...
Yeah.
Without anyone, so she needed to find, the closest guy she could, who was, a rookie. So she's like, hey, Polly, over here. Pay attention to me. So Polly does, and then it kind of blows up in his face because Cara Maria has tons of alliances in the house, but also because of her relationship with Kyle, also has a lot of enemies suddenly because Kyle is partners with Brad. Brad is friends with Zach. So suddenly, Polly is being attacked by, Brad, Kyle, Zach. There's all of a sudden these other teams who don't like Polly. And Polly's just like, whoa, I was just trying to hang out with this chick who seemed cool. And now he's all of a sudden like sucked into this vortex of this weird love triangle that he wasn't expecting. And now he's just trying to make the best of it. And Polly was just going along with it. And then episode 4, he kind of, once he got eliminated by Cam and Kaylee, he starts to take on this other role where he's like, you know what? People fucking hate me. That's fine. If you're going to hate me, I'm going to give you a reason to hate me. And he starts talking mad shit about everyone. Talking shit on, Zach and Brad. I can't send you guys in, so I'm going to send your girlfriends home. And all that.
Well, I mean, you kind of skip some shit for episode 1 and 2, a little bit. But with that, it's like Polly is just trying to make good TV. I mean, like, there's been plenty of people that have done that. Wes, he complained about going into elimination, yet I'm like, no, you wanted to be there. You wanted that camera time. You wanted that extra chunk of the premiere episode. You know what I mean? So, and there's been other people like that who just kind of put themselves, like Derek in Gauntlet 2. He threw this huge fit about not getting team captain or something like that. Yeah, they were like, we'll put him in. And he's like, I actually wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Take captain seat and shit like that. So it's fine. What we passed up was like Natalie chats with Kaylee and... Oh, no. That's when Cam comes up to Natalie and says like, hey, you don't like Kaylee because she said you're a lesbian on Twitter before you could say it to anyone else. You hate her, but I'm with her right now, Natalie. So don't hate her. Don't come after her because that's me. Like we're getting along just fine or whatever. But Natalie, the whole time on her confessional, she's like, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna have to go for her. You know, means a lot to her. So out of that, Tori and Derek, I think they might vote for, or did they vote for Joss and Sylvia? I think they voted for that. Yeah, Joss and Sylvia. But then in episode 4, what happens? No, what happens in episode 3? Now we get to talk about the elimination between Natalie and Polly and Cam and Kaylee, right?
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about that.
No, we haven't. Let's talk about it right now.
Yeah.
And all the bullshit that happened, man.
Yeah, this was weird, and you had to have kind of a keen eye for it to realize. And it was, when I was watching it, I was like, wow, this is fucked up and this is really unfair, what we're watching here. And I didn't mention anything to you. And then when you started to talk to me about it before we started podcasting, the first thing you said was, wow, that elimination was super rigged and not fair. And I was like, oh my God, you saw it too. Yeah. Like, it was completely not fair.
It looked like, like Cam had 1 rubber band, while Polly had like 4 rubber bands, that sort of thing. Where like, it doesn't even look like it's a single strand. It looks like multi-strands pulling them back and stuff. And the idea is kind of cool though. Like if it wasn't rigged, I think that idea would have been cool. Where like the one guy just grabs puzzle pieces and why? You know what? Why did it have to be on rubber bands? Why couldn't it have been like you take puzzle pieces, you run it up some stairs, hand it to your partner. And that's what, you know what I mean?
Climb a ladder, get the puzzle pieces, bring it down.
Yeah, because it's still going to come down to the puzzle in a sense, Yeah. Because like you could go at a certain speed, but if your partner isn't good at puzzles or whatever and needs your help, so it really did suck that they gave Polly all those.
Yeah, all that. He had like 4 bands connected to that anchor, while Cam had 2, it looked like Polly had twice as many. Mm-hmm. So we could see Cam picking up the puzzle pieces and walking it up to the cage that Kaylee's in. Polly picks up a puzzle piece and he can get like 6 feet from it, or more, and like he can't go any further and he's struggling. He can't.
You see him toss up the pieces, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they made his band stronger because he's a guy, so it needs to be stronger, I guess. But it was completely unfair, the fact that Natalie can't even start putting the puzzle together because she can't get the pieces because Polly's unable to pull out those bands, while Cam and Kaylee are just walking them up there, feeding them in, starts putting it together like nothing.
They are eliminated, only to go to the Redemption House and into episode 4. Dave, take it away.
Where they get to go against Jose and Devon.
Nothing happened with them in the Redemption House, right? Nothing?
Well, plenty of stuff happened, but we already talked about it.
Oh, we already talked about it? All right. That's fine.
I mean, well, we can start at the beginning. Polly and Natalie arrived, and then Polly was talking about Kyle and Cara. And then
that's right.
Because Polly, Jose was talking about Brittany and Chuck, and then Polly's like, well, this game's about politics and about what you know. So now that I know that Brittany and Chuck have had some sexual tension, Polly says, I'm just going to lie to Brad.
He says that in front of Brittany and Chuck.
Exactly.
He's like, I'm just going to say, I had to watch Brittany ride Chuck's cock like a champion.
And they all just kind of tee-hee-hee, kind of
yeah,
and whatever. They didn't, no reaction to it.
Yeah.
And it was okay, you guys just heard what he said, so he's probably going to do it. And then basically we just get to the elimination where...
The redemption elimination.
Yeah, that elimination where Natalie can't pull that sledgehammer.
They draw the card so that they get to participate in elimination. And then they get to choose their opponent. Everyone else leaves. They choose Jose and Devon, which is
their weak team plus their big brother people.
That's what I forgot. That the fact that they're both big brother, but it's fuck allegiance, really.
Yeah, I mean they're just gonna pick the team they think they have the best chance of beating.
Yeah, I would as well. So when it comes down to the elimination, though, what is it that pull the hammers out? We already talked about that as well.
Yeah,
we talked about all that shit.
And Natalie couldn't pull it through.
It's at the episode right now. It's
exactly.
all been said.
That's what I was saying. We already said all this shit. Yeah. So then at the end, after they get sent home, Paulie starts yelling shit at Zach and Kyle and Brad.
Well, the twist is, though, if you lose elimination, you're not even out of the game. You're back into the redemption house, which that was an extra kick to the nuts or a kick to the ribs after you've already been. Okay, you get kicked in the nuts, you fall down to the ground. You're like, oh, what the fuck? And then you walk up and you get kicked in the ribs. You're like, that was unnecessary. Yeah, come on. And then they fucking like shave the whole side of your head, and you're like, how'd you get a shave?
Like Paulie?
Yeah. You're like, what the fuck? This is overboard.
Like Zach?
It was just, I don't know. It was really fucking weird. Anyways, continue on. What's next here?
I mean, Paulie starts yelling, "You're lucky I sent Brittany home because she was banging Chuck the entire time in the redemption house." And then, they cut to Brad, and Brad's just, has a look on his face like, he saw a ghost. And he's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because he's like, these past couple days haven't felt right. I'm like, oh, and then that's a great point, Brad, because I remember when it came down to pulling the random hooks and people were talking quote unquote strategy. No, the
double cross.
The double cross. Sorry, yeah. People were like, okay, I feel this way about it, and you're like, oh god, I feel strongly about this one, and I was watching that, and you were just like, "Ah, there's a bunch of bullshit."
Yeah, they're talking strategy on which thing to pull, and I'm like, you don't know, all right?
But there is a bit of strategy there because no. Let me finish. Because when it was introduced to free agents, what's her name? Devin actually created a system which, to her, was foolproof. She was like, it's... Oh, God, what did she say? At the time when I read it, I was like, you figured that out. It was always to the right, or what the fuck did she say? Anyways.
There's no... Okay.
No, there is.
If there's truth to this, then go to Vegas and fucking win millions of dollars. If there was any, you can predict, a random 1 out of 4 thing, there's no way that there's a strategy to it. You have a 25% chance. And then if you don't get it that time, then you have a 33% chance. If you don't get it that time, you have a 50% chance. It's math.
I realize
You know what? If there's only one person I will take advice on from this, and his name is Jordan. Because Jordan figured out the double cross on Dirty 30. For whatever reason, Jordan would always pick the right one every time he would go in there.
But he didn't.
We don't know how Jordan could do it, but he's the only person who knew.
No, what are you talking about? Johnny Riley. Remember, he would never...
Well, that was on Free Agents, but I'm talking about Dirty 30.
What's the diff? If it's all random draw.
Jordan was able to pick it 3 times in a row.
But... what? Yeah, I understand that, but what's his name? Johnny Riley was lucky as well in the draw for free agents. Yeah, that's what... Oh, I thought you were trying to say there was a difference. Jordan might have never went in elimination, but Johnny Riley did.
No, you brought up Johnny Riley. It's the same comparison. I could have picked Johnny Riley or Jordan. I'm not saying they're different. I'm saying Jordan is the most recent example of that.
Anyways, I went on this huge tangent. We got into that. When Paulie says, yeah, fucking Brittany fuck Chuck, ground Chuck,
ground.
And Brad's like, I had this bad feeling these past couple days. I'm just trying to say, Dave, do you say, if you're Kyle, and you're you, actually, no, you're just you with Brad, and you hear him say, I had a bad feeling, do you be like, feelings don't exist, it's just math? You know what I mean? What do you,
Is that a legit question?
No, because
with random drawings and relationships, there's actual facts to go off of with relationships. Brad is in a relationship with Brittany. He knows that Brittany is prone to making poor decisions. He knows that Brittany is a little bit loose and likes to walk around naked a lot. So it's completely plausible that Brad would be like, yeah, I'm not completely shocked. It was an axe they've hooked up before, and now they've been in a house together for 3 nights, so it's not mind-blowing. But
So, yeah,
it makes sense to me because I've said this ever since Brad made his return. He's got the big bushy beard. He's built like a big brick shit house. He looks like Macho Man Randy Savage, you know? And now he's like, oh yeah. He's like, I should have locked that Miss Elizabeth up in the locker room where the Hulk couldn't get to her.
That was pretty good. Yeah, it all comes full circle. I like it. Well, Paulie, upon leaving, he says the shit that he has to say. I remember before this even happened, before I even watched the episode, you were like, dude, fucking Paulie's a piece of shit and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, I can see that, but let's just see how it plays out.
Yeah.
He's a piece of shit on purpose.
Yeah.
He's taking whatever is left of TV time and still being sensational.
Yeah.
With his dying, it's not even his dying breath. He's back in redemption. He can come back and he could verse whatever, but it's just, he's still selling himself even after he loses.
Yeah. Because Paulie is a rookie. All he knows is that this show seems to be based off of making enemies with other players. So Paulie is making enemies with Kyle, Brad, Zach, I don't know. He's making some sort of friendship with Cara Maria, but he's just trying to start shit with everybody because he knows that that's the ticket onto the show is to create drama, and that's what he's doing. So, while some people are like, "Oh, Paulie's awesome," a lot of people loved his outburst on the episode and thought he was just awesome. I kind of take it like, yeah, it was kind of awesome to watch because it was cool, but at the same time, I kind of see it on its face value because this is his last scream or shout for fame this season because he has zero chance of coming back now. Now that he's in the Redemption House, anybody else who comes in, they're going to pick another team. They're going to pick another team to go against because I don't want them to come back in because I hate them. Or, well, I could be wrong. Maybe they will choose to go against Natalie and Paulie because they've shown that they're... Just because they could be the first ever team to lose 3 elite eliminations in one season.
My God.
They're so freaking such a terrible team. It's amazing. Like, how do you lose to Cam and Kaylee and Natalie or Jose and Devon? Like, those aren't super strong teams.
Yeah. All I saw of this was, if you're a UFC fan, echoes of Kobe Covington. Just saying shit just because, hey, this might turn into something great. Because at the beginning, he was just saying shit. Just fucking, you know? And, well, no, he was probably winning. You can't say shit after you lose. Yeah, Joe Rogan does say, like, come here, loser. No, he does. But only if you're a legend or in the main event. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, anyways. Colby Covington. If you're not familiar with UFC, he's just a troll.
Yeah,
he's just trolling
mad
you.
Shit talking.
Yeah, that's all it is. Still talented, though, which you can't give to Paulie, though, right?
Yeah. Paulie doesn't want shit. All right. He has not backed up his trash at all.
Are we done with Paulie and Natalie?
Yes, let's move on.
All right, here we go. Nelson and Shane. Now, in episode 2, they got 7 rings. Pretty goddamn good. They tangled up with Wes, though. Shane and... tangled up with Wes.
Wow, you got Wes on the mind. Wow,
no. Look at this. Tangled with. That
Bananas.
with is like W-E, like W West, whatever, banana. All right, tangled with bananas. Now, this is the crazy thing, though. In episode 1, they're tangled up. Banana's like, what the fuck, Shane? And Shane is like, what? Like I can't help it either. Like, we can't stop the momentum. We're going to keep on tangling up with each other. We just saw Veronica and Sylvia tangle up, you know? Like, sorry. After that episode, episode 2, Shane has all these little scrapes and shit on his face, his arms.
He got into a cat fight.
And Nelson, his concerned partner, is like, where'd that come from? And Shane is actually kind of looking down, kind of like, you know what I mean? Like not feeling like Shane. Like, Shane was very different at this moment, where he's like, it was bananas. Like, he fucking scratched me up, and instead of trying to like make the situation better, he decided to scream at me the entire time. And I wanted to yell at him, like, you yelled at Jose the entire time in Champs vs. Stars. But then I'm like, no, like, Shane is not 100%. And Shane it seems weird to me. And fucking Bananas the bitch scratched Shane to shit.
Shane is used to being a top. He's not used to being abused
Oh,
at
Jesus
all.
Christ. Is that what all you have to say about this?
That's what I thought you were going
I
at.
don't like the fact that Bananas did that to Shane.
Yeah.
That's it's low.
And
It's
Shane
low.
takes pride in his appearance. He has a full head of hair. Unlike
Oh,
Kyle.
God.
With his hair plugs. Come
Oh.
on. Shane is a good looking man. And for Bananas to scratch his face, it's a goddamn shame.
All right, well.
I feel bad for Shane. It sucks. Because, Bananas is just clawing and scratching at his face. What the hell?
And he's doing it because he knows he's going to get away with it. It's not even acknowledged by the producers. I mean, there's a shot of him saying such, but they're not going to pursue it. They're not going to say like, "Hey, Bananas, scratching is wrong. You might as well throw Shane's clothes over the balcony."
And he was flailing his hands and scratched them. It wasn't like intentional.
No, there was scratches all over his body and arms and face.
He had like 2 scratches on his face. That was it.
And dick. But that's unrelated. Come on, scratches on the dick. That's nothing. That's like scratches on the bedpost. Am I right?
Maybe for Bananas and Shane, not for normal people.
All right. Nelson and Shane, they do vote for Angela and Faith, just because it's the safe vote. I feel like.
Yeah,
because
they wanted to vote
because
for
I do
rookies.
remember both of them at first were talking about Bananas and Tony, and they're like, "That's the move, but not right now." They both acknowledge, like, no, it's too big. It's not going to work.
They're like, right now, usually the first episode, people tend to just vote for rookies because it's a safe vote. That's what Brad and Kyle did when they sent home or sent the Redemption House Jose and Devon. They're like, we don't have any allegiance to you guys. You're rookies. We're going to vote you in because it won't ruffle any feathers. So it was kind of that kind of safe move. Smart move.
Nelson and Shane, what else? Nelson still has feelings for Kaylee, which I think is wrong. I mean, feelings for another human being isn't wrong, but like feelings for her is pretty wrong. Because like it's not going to go
redeeming. Nothing redeeming about Kaylee at all. It's just Kaylee.
No, and then after the fact that you realize that she did in fact hook up with Bananas, cut your losses, right?
Yeah.
No.
Nelson is pulling a full Cara Maria, where it's like you need to move on at this point and stop dwelling on this relationship that failed in the past.
So let me ask you this.
The same thing.
Let me ask you this: if Kellyanne hit on you, Casey Cooper hit on you, Natalie hit on you, Camilla hit on you, who would you fuck? Nani hit on you. Who would you fuck?
Probably Kellyanne and Casey.
Oh my God! So you lied. You would associate with a girl that hooked up with Bananas.
Yeah.
No. I didn't expect you to just like, it's alright. I'll be Eskimo Brothers with Johnny Bananas. It's fine.
That's cool. It's
all good.
It's prestigious company to be in.
Yeah. It's like how the rich only pay for high class hookers, which is like expensive hookers. It's still pussy nonetheless. You know what I mean? But they're like, oh my God, I heard that Hefner fucked you as well beforehand, and Trump jizzed on your fucking socks.
Like David Spade from Tommy Boy? Like, he's always pulling in hot chicks. And it's just like, somewhere down the line, if you look at the lineage, David Spade, who's like 5'7", blonde, unattractive dude, he's funny, don't get me wrong, but he managed to bang some hot chick who was a 10, and then ever since then, he's just managed to snowball that into just banging supermodels his entire life. And it's like, dude, how are you getting away with this? Like, you're not a catch at all, dude. You're like a 6. But he still manages to catch 10s just on name recognition. Like, hey, girl, this was my ex-girlfriend. So if you think you're in that company, get with me.
And it's also like, if you're in a band, you know what I mean? You're like, hey, I'm the bassist for The Doors. I'm not actually... Wait, The Doors didn't have a bassist. That's right. Shit.
Well, they had a piano player. It was a keyboard.
All right, yeah. Hey, I'm the keyboardist for the Doors, I know Jim Morrison. Like, oh my god, well, fuck you, just by association and shit like that. They did not talk like that in the '60s, I imagine, right?
So
you're like, wow, in the '60s.
So the problem is, Nelson should be happy that Kaylee previously had gotten with Bananas, but for some reason he's butthurt about it, even though it's something in the past. And Nelson should be trying to he shouldn't have gotten mad at Kaylee. He should have just been like, water under the bridge.
No, I don't agree with you at all. Like you were talking about like, oh, I wouldn't care if I got with a girl that Bananas got with. No, I don't think I could do that. There are certain people, if I knew that they got with them, I'm like, no, sorry.
I mean, there are certain people, but unfortunately, Bananas is not one of them. As much as I hate Bananas, like there are other people where I'd be like, oh no, if you got with them, I wouldn't get with you.
Who would draw the line? CT. If you know a girl got with CT, you're like, oh, I'm gonna catch some sort of Boston swagger, fucking herpes sore motherfucker, right?
No, it probably wouldn't be him. It would probably be like, I'm drawing a blank here.
I think no one would draw the line for you. You don't care.
It more depends on the girl. It depends on the girl. Like,
what?
Yeah.
So you would put other girls in higher regard than others?
Yeah.
Like, okay, you get with I was gonna say Jenna, but no, I'm not gonna give you that satisfaction. I'm gonna give you.
Come on, Jenna.
You get with Kayla. Kayla.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. I wouldn't get with Kayla no matter what. Because of her Mikey P current boyfriend, or I don't know who else.
Mikey P. What's that?
That's Kayla's boyfriend. He's an aspiring rap artist.
Aspiring. Oh, those are always fun. Come on.
Yeah.
I bet he spins
She was with Corey. If a girl was with Corey, I might cross the line and be like, not if you're with Corey or Nelson. Right?
Okay.
No, Nelson, I don't have a problem with. Corey is really bad in elimination, so, I mean...
So what do you think? If you fuck the girl that Bananas fucked, you can win 6 challenges? Is that what you think?
No,
what's
not
the difference? If Corey,
I'm just saying it's respectable. 6 wins is respectable.
It's
I can
not
get with
like
a girl who
conceiving
respects
a child.
champion.
You're not going to inherit their genetics in some sort of way.
I know, but if the girl respects Bananas and got with the Bananas, he's a champion. She probably thinks I'm a champion as well. All right, it's about a mutual respect. If a girl gets with like a loser who never wins, like Corey, and always chokes, then I probably don't want to be like one of those losers that can just be lumped in. You know?
Me personally, I'll take it wherever I can get it.
Exactly. It's Kellyanne. She could sleep with Donald Trump. I wouldn't care.
All right.
I'll get with you next.
Oh my god. We were almost off the subject. You had to say fucking Trump. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the most outrageous movie you could fucking think of.
All right, next is... Wait. I would bang Stormy Daniels. No, I'm kidding. I have no idea what she's about.
No, never. I would not. No.
I don't.
No way.
You didn't? Were you compelled to check out her material? And you're just
no,
like,
I've never seen her topless.
pass.
I've never seen a video of her, but I
did see her topless because of the thumbnail. That goddamn thumbnail. Get you every time.
I've not seen it. Don't care to.
Okay. All right, next is Cam and Kaylee. They get 7 rings in episode 1. They're non-enemies. They're put together, because remember back
Melissa in the day, and what's her name, Kayla got kicked out of the show because they got into a fight that was never fully shown in the show. Yeah. Did we see the actual blow to the face or the actual fight? Because I feel like they kind of did like a hard cut where they were like rushing at each other. There was arms in the air going at each other's faces, and then there's just like a cut to a different camera view. And then they're like being pulled apart, but I feel like there was a punch or something thrown that we didn't exactly see.
Yeah, but they're thrown out of the game at the end of that episode 1. Episode 2, they're like, you know what, Cam, Kaylee, you guys don't like... Well, no, you guys don't like each other at all, but we're going to put you 2 together. Why? I'm going to say because Cam is so likable over Kaylee. If it was Kaylee and like some other chick we could care less about, they'd
Yeah.
be like, yeah, you're out of here as well. But I think Cam did so much good for herself in not in Champs vs. Stars too, because she got eliminated by Brooke Hogan, right?
Yeah, but she had a
But she
short-lived romance with Booby.
Oh my
You
god,
know?
that's
we
right.
can't forget about that.
She
And then
crashed,
Booby threw her under the bus,
Yeah.
and he lied to her.
and he's like, tough titty, right?
Yeah,
It's like,
well,
that's what I say.
Booby listened to Wes's advice, and Cam got thrown in, unfortunately. But yeah, Cam was great on Vendettas.
In Vendettas, yeah, there's 3 episodes,
Cam.
3 eliminations.
Got all the way to the final where she did horrible, but we'll forget about that because she was awesome. Like
Cam did get
Cam
to-
is super.
All right.
Right? Yeah, Cam is awesome. She's one of my favorites. Kaylee is good looking and she has a cool accent, but her personality does nothing for me.
I'm not sure. They might have voted for Tori and Derek overall. No, they voted for Natalie and Polly because Natalie and Polly, once they're thrown into elimination, they get to vote whoever voted them in, which is brilliant. I think that idea is so great. I feel like that should have been around. It's like it took that long for that twist to get there or whatever. You know?
When I heard that and that reveal, it was great. I was like, oh, awesome. Now you get to choose. And it's really going to... I want to see the next ones like that where are people going to...
trick and say like, hey, we're all going to vote this guy to like 3 people.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
but then when they go in to vote, they're going to vote for someone else because they don't really want to go against that team.
For sure.
So then we're going to end up with a bunch of votes where it's like this team had 2 votes, this team had 2 votes, this team had 1 vote, this team had 1 vote, this team had 1 vote. And like all the votes are completely split because everyone's gun shy and they don't want to go into elimination. Like it could be, I don't know, it could be wild.
It's very true. I didn't think about that. Cam and Kaylee, they are chosen to go into elimination by Natalie and Polly. Remember all this shit?
No.
They go
for alcohol. I don't
they
remember
go-
any of it.
They go into elimination, and again, you know, I don't want to take away anything from. Well, God damn it sucks though, because Polly was given a handicap. You know.
Yeah.
And
But Kayla put the puzzle together.
Did you hear anything about like Cara Maria saying something online, either on Twitter or whatever, where she's like, back when we were filming it, Polly went to the producers and said, "Hey, will there be a handicap if we verse?" Because the other people were like guys and girls. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was. It was like Zach, Amanda, Joss, Sylvia. You know, there was other like guy-girl pairs. But he's like, well, what if we go against the 2 girls? Is there going to be a difference? Is there going to be a handicap? And producers were like, no. They were lying.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Cara Maria tweeted that?
Yeah.
Oh my
or
God.
something. So
I'm a huge fan of Cara Maria now. That's awesome.
I don't know if she tweeted
She's
it, but something.
Giving us a
something like
peek behind the curtain.
Yeah, which is fine. That's pretty sweet. So, but what do you say outside of it? Do you think Cam and Kaylee deserve that win? Or they were just going to win it no matter what because it was all in their favor.
When I look at Cam's like elimination record, I'm not going to be like, this is the reason why Cam is awesome. I'm like, yeah, she did her job, but like it's kind of a no contest. You can't really take anything away from it because it did seem skewed that Polly had to be tied to bands that wouldn't move as much as Cam's. Like she coached up Kaylee to put the puzzle together. Like she did her part, but I don't know. You can't say like Cam like was annihilated it because you don't really know. It didn't seem like a fair competition.
But Kaylee inside the box had to put the puzzle together herself. But I think Cam really coached her through that. She really did.
Yeah, because she was legit standing right next to the cage with no resistance on her hands at all, just talking her through it. While they pan to Paulie like 6 feet away, like struggling his brains out just to even get close with a piece. And Cam was just standing there with the band like fully stretched out. Like, whatever. It was such bullshit.
Anything in episode 4? I don't think so.
No,
nothing episode. So finally, we get to Faith and Angela.
You saved them for last?
No,
really?
no. I didn't mean finally. We have more teams after this. 2 more teams after this. All right, 3 more teams left. This is the third to last. Faith and Angela. They get 9 rings total. That's actually really impressive because every other team on that mission got 11. For these rookie chicks, that's really good, right?
Yeah, I guess that is pretty good. I didn't realize it did that well. Good for them.
Everything else to mention, Angela takes a pillow to the face. Apparently it's tradition for the first person to have a clue to get thrown pillows at, and then Angela, of course, gets offended, and she's like, no, fuck that. I don't take pillows, anything soft to the face. It has to be rock hard. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Just like her cheeks and her lips, they have to be injected so they're rock hard.
But I do remember both Bananas and Brad show up afterwards to make an apology. One is sincere, one has an ulterior motive. Bananas wants to get laid, motherfucker.
Yeah, and like that whole sequence really pissed me off because yes, it is tradition that you kind of do it to the rookie or the new people, but I do understand why Angela was upset because it did seem a lot more mean-spirited, like people fucking hated her. Like it did not seem like a good fun. It's like, hey, we're palling around. It was none of that. It seemed kind of mean-spirited. But my biggest problem was the fact that this episode seemed to focus like 12 or 13 fucking minutes on this shit. Where it's just like, oh my gosh, they're just reading the fucking clue or whatever off the phone.
That's true.
And it just goes into this thing, and I'm like, why are we wasting time in this episode on this? Like, you could have edited this down to 90 seconds, and we could have moved on. Instead, we're going to be watching this, then we'll cut to commercial, then we'll come back and we'll watch more and more and more about this, and then we'll cut to commercial again, then we'll finally move on.
Yeah.
But that is how the season is going, where they just focus in on some drama and just go on and on about it. No one cares.
All I have written down is in episode 2, they vote for Nelson and Shane. I mean, it didn't help that Shane and Angela got in a fight, like episode 1.
Yeah.
And then Angela is falling for Banana's slippery slip on a banana peel ways, right?
I guess. Yeah. I mean, it's every year. Like Bananas did it with Natalie last year.
Don't say every year. Don't say every year. Because for a long time, Bananas had a girlfriend, the skier or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, allegedly. And I mean, we hear about her, but I've never actually seen her like come out in an interview and admit to it.
Yeah, I do remember Camilla saying like, "Yo, cheater, you're gonna die," and shit like that.
Yeah.
That was directly towards Bananas.
Yeah.
Etched in time.
So basically, it was Bananas stole Sarah's money in season 29, Rivals 3. And then once Bananas got that money, he went back, and then his girlfriend was like, well, now that you have your own money, fuck you, we're breaking up. So then the next season he comes back, and he's single.
You think that's how it went? I mean, what if it was like, she's like, hey, I love this house that you have, that you bought, How did you acquire this money? And it's like, well, through hard work and perseverance, I guess. Let's go, let's fuck. And she's like, no, I want to watch the episode.
You got that money because Sarah carried your ass all the way to the final, and then you screwed her over on the last episode, stealing all her money. And you know what? She's like, now that you can afford your own place, move the fuck out of my place, all right? So she kicked Bananas to the curb. Bananas was a single man. And now Bananas has kind of parlayed this onto these new seasons. Like last year, he's trying to hook up with Natalie, trying to get some tail and build an alliance with a rookie. And this year, Bananas is doing the same. He's trying to get some tail and trying to get an alliance with a rookie. And these rookies know, like, hey, Bananas is a multiple champion. Like, he has a long track record of being successful. It's probably a smart move to try and align myself with him.
It's kind of Wes-esque. Maybe that's why I said Wes earlier. It was foreshadowing. Because what does Wes do? He tries to align with the rookies.
Yeah.
Not with his cock, but his mouth.
Yeah. Well,
trying to promises. That's what I meant. I meant like promises and shit, like that.
But if you can get like voting benefits plus bedroom benefits, that's politicking at its finest. And Kara and Bananas they're the captains of politicking. Why do you think Bananas and Kara are like two of the most successful people in the challenge today?
Because they're secretly fucking each other? Is that what you're saying?
No, they're fucking other rookies, like Kara was with Kyle and Paulie. Kara's doing the same thing as Bananas, trying to bang rookies
And
to
that
get
was-
them on their side to help them in the game. Like,
that was Thomas's first season, right?
it was.
When
yeah. Kara is actually more of an expert at this than Bananas is.
Because she did it
She's
first.
done
No,
it 3 times.
Nah,
3
no.
times, fool.
No, there's a lot of there's a lot of like Nani. We never saw him and Nani hook up before, but they did on a season. We never saw him get with Casey, but they did. Yeah. We never got to see him get with Camilla, but they did. You know, like
that was in the final. They had to keep each other warm
what?
in Iceland.
No, what are you talking? Well, yeah,
that's what I read.
Well, yeah, they did, but I'm saying like how they got together in the first place, man. Justify such a coupling.
Justify.
All right. Well, next let's go on to Tony Bananas. Tony Bananas, episode 2. This was the quote unquote surprise replacement. Tony coming in for who we never got to know, but it was Devin.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Devin, but he never even showed up. I guess his dad passed away, which that sucks.
Yeah.
Like,
and his dying wish was like, don't star in some trash on MTV, son. He's like, I won't. And then no, I'm not gonna continue on with this.
Trying to get on National Geographic like Bear Grylls. Like, no, I'm gonna go back on MTV. Sorry, Pops.
As a replacement. Oh my God, this is terrible. All right, well, Tony Bananas. We saw this coming. They show up. I wouldn't call it tension filled necessarily because they were friends for the longest fucking time. And it's not like they know each other. It's not like they dislike each other because they're like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to drag Bananas through this entire thing because he sucks, or vice versa. He's like, oh, Tony sucks. No, they know they're really good. Mm-hmm. So how mad can you be?
It was really just like a confluence of events that happened last year where Devin knew about Kaylee and Bananas hooking up, and now Kaylee was with Nelson. But then Devin knew, because Bananas was trying to get with Natalie, Devin was going to rat out Bananas to Natalie about Kaylee to piss off Nelson and Bananas, and then get everyone in the house to turn on Kaylee and Bananas. And then Tony was able to help Devin and put their vote towards Bananas to put Bananas into elimination against Devin, which he would go home. So, I mean, it was just a circling of events where it happened to work out, and Tony was more than willing to pull the trigger on it to get rid of a strong competitor in Bananas. Before then, there was no real animosity or hatred between each other.
I just want to say that Bananas getting Tony as a partner is huge, right?
Yeah, Tony just came off of winning Champs vs. Stars with CT.
Yes, exactly. This Final Reckoning pairing, it might as well, like we said this before, it might as well be called Rivals 4, right?
Yeah.
Let's look back at Rivals 1. Bananas was with Tyler, who previously just won Cutthroat. Let's cut to Rivals 2, where he's put with Frank, and Frank just previously won Battle of the Seasons. Let's go to Rivals 3, where Sarah just previously won, well, not just previously, but before that, because it was like Battle of the Exes 2, then Bloodlines, then Rivals 3. But you get what I'm saying.
But
you understand.
It was Sarah's return, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. And then now he gets Tony. Tony just won Champs vs. Stars 2.
Yeah, Bananas always gets the best partner.
Cream of the crop.
Always.
High on the win of the previous season. Like, you get a partner with all that confidence and shit.
And always a partner that is peaking. It's not someone like, all the momentum, they're peaking right in their prime. He's not getting some washed up Veronica. Like, as much as you say Veronica's a good partner, that was in the past, and we haven't seen that recently. So, Bananas is way better off than CT is this year.
They vote in episode 2 for Shane and Nelson because Bananas wants to finish off the job. He first clawed up Shane and now wants to send him into eliminations. I still really don't like that. I'm sure he's like, you know what? I'm gonna claw up the gay guy because I know I can't claw up the woman, right?
Whoa.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I think it was incidental.
Next
He was trying to
team
save
in the
himself.
final team, Kyle and Brad. In episode 1, they actually win. They get 11 rings. In fact, they win the first. They win their first heat. I mean, what's the point of talking about it? But they won the first heat, got 11. That meant you could participate in the second round, in the second heat against everyone else. And I just remember this. Kyle just wants to get rid of Polly. He's jealous. He admits as such. He makes jokes about it. He raves about it. He gets serious about it. But it's like, it's for real. He's like, I want him out of here. Faith feels like she's safe because that's who Kyle's making out with and shit. That's accurate. But that's episode 2 and 3. What happens with Kyle and Brad in episode 4? Besides nothing,
I mean,
just the
is
bomb.
this the reveal that Polly gave to Brad?
Yeah.
So, I mean, Brad and Kyle are a very strong team together. We see Brad him and Zach kind of really cement their hate for Polly, along with Kyle. Kyle says a line in the episode where he's like, "Hey, he's like, I'm getting with Faith, so that way I can make Cara Maria and Polly jealous."
I thought it was Carr that said, "I'm getting with Polly to get." No.
Well,
Didn't who was?
I mean, she might have said that too. I know Kyle definitely said that he was.
They're both acknowledging that they're just like, this is just, we're using these people's hearts. Young hearts.
Cara Maria's constantly said that about Polly, trying to make Kyle jealous. This is the first time we've heard Kyle say he's using Faith to make Cara Maria jealous. And it kind of seemed like it was a line where it was kind of shaped by the events. Because it seemed like at first Kyle came into the house, he was over Cara Maria, he was going to move on to a new person, he decided to get with Faith, they hooked up, and then Cara Maria's giant reaction of not liking that, and then trying to go with Polly and starting all this drama. Now Kyle is like, yeah, that's why I got with Faith, because I wanted to make her jealous, even though it was just like, it wasn't really about that, it was just Kyle kind of doing his own thing. But now he's kind of shaping it in a fashion to fit the storyline. So, and that's what this entire fucking season about. It's all about the love triangles. I mean, this episode of episode 4, it started with like Polly talking about Kyle and Cara together, that love triangle. And then you have the Brittany and Chuck and Brad love triangle. And then you have Kaylee talking about Nelson and Bananas and their love triangle. And then you have Bananas and Angela getting together, but then Bananas used to be with Natalie, and that's like a weird triangle. This is fucking love triangles for everyone in this season, and that's all they're focusing on. And it's fucking mind-boggling and annoying, because I just want to watch challenges. I want to watch missions, eliminations. I want to see the competition, and I want to see the cool voting process. I want to see the politics drama. I don't want to see the relationship drama. Give me the fucking politics and the voting process and the eliminations. Instead, it's just fucking love triangles everywhere, and it's annoying as shit.
And on that note, like, subscribe, comment. This was Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud
And Hardcore Dave.